So I was at the Decatur Arts Festival this weekend running the comedy tent, but this is no joke. I was walking around in between acts and I see this guy and he's got a macaw on one shoulder and a lemur on the other, and it was accessorized. And of course I was like, can I take a picture? And he said, can you give me $25? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And as you know, the lemur would probably have gotten stuck in my hair. But anyways, I walked away. We had our teen improv troupe perform, and in the middle of it, there is all this ruckus in the trees. It sounded like we were at the zoo. So the improv troupe, they finish, everyone leaves. I start walking away, and I see these women in volunteer shirts looking up and looking around, and they're on their phone, and they're doing this. And I said, what's going on? And they said, a lemur scratched a baby, and now it's on the loose. And I was like, who could have predicted that something like this would have happened? Me, because I watch Chimp Love, okay? And we all know what our primate friends would do. They have opposable thumbs, and they are very strong, even the tiny lemur ones. So anyways, I'm like, okay, are you on the phone with animal control? And her answer was, no, I'm on the phone with my wife, because if I find this lemur, I'm going to take it home. And I was like, okay, but did someone call animal control? And she's like, I don't know. So I run to the office. And I'm like, there's a lemur on the loose. Do we know about this? No one knew what was going on. Couldn't believe that a lemur was on the loose. I'm like, why is no one freaking out that there's a lemur somewhere in downtown Decatur? I go up to the first aid tent where all the very handsome fire department guys are hanging out. And I said, can you please tell me whether there is a lemur loose and whether the lemur scratched a baby? And they looked at me and they said, define baby. They weren't like, no, there's not a lemur on the loose. They're like, define baby. And I'm like, I don't know, a baby. And they're like, no, the lemur scratched a kid. The lemur is not on the loose. We just asked him to leave and recommended to the parents that they get a rabies shot for their kid. But that's crazy. Anyway, but the good news is the lemur's probably safe back home and has his pajamas on and is being read a bedtime story, as I imagine that happens when you're a lemur and you're domesticated. But I'm really worried about that kid.